Hello everyone, this is Jenny with your weekly energy forecast for the week starting March 30th and running through April 5th. If you are new to my channel, I am a practicing shaman and I do energy readings and I help people get in touch with their animal spirit guides. I am here in my quarantined apartment in New York City. It has been a little difficult for me this week finding the peace and quiet that I need to do my recording, so it is very late here right now. I had to wait until everyone went to bed so that I could create the space of solitude that I need to really get in touch with the energies. So I might not be speaking as loudly today as I usually do, because I don't want to wake everyone up. So let's get straight into the reading today. As usual, I have pulled a card from my favorite tarot deck called the Herbal Tarot to help me tune into the overall energy that we are feeling. So the card that came up today is called the High Priest in the deck that I use. And the High Priest represents our own inner teacher. After we have come to the end of our own reasoning process, it is time for us to look inward and find our own inner guidance. And the High Priest is there waiting for us, for he knows what we need, both physically and spiritually. And if you notice in the picture, you can see those two pillars, and they represent those two types of knowledge. So the High Priest stands as a bridge between these two pillars that represent practical and spiritual knowledge. The High Priest is ruled by the sign of Taurus, and that is also called the sign of inherited talents and values and tenacity. So he uses all of this in order to teach and guide us in a stable and real manner. You could say that he is that small voice that we hear inside when we take the time to ask the questions, and when we take the time to silence our minds and just listen. He's very practical also when he applies his wisdom, but he is willing to live his life according to this inner guidance. So if you watched my video from last week where I told you about this dream I had where my own spirit guide Kutsumi came to me and talked to us about how best to act in this whole coronavirus crisis. This card is tied into that also. I hear from many friends when they try to find ways of coping with this period that we're in. I hear many friends say to me, oh well, this gives me a chance to do this project, or this gives me a chance to finish all of these things around the house, and then I might also start doing repairs in my garage, or I might start painting the bedroom, all of these practical tasks. And of course we need to stay busy, but we have to remember also that this is not a vacation that we are on. We don't all of a sudden have tons of free time. Our work, at least for many of us, or most of us, has come home with us and still needs to get done. I guess this is a way the human brain tries to cope with situations like this, that we try to fill it with activities and things we can do. But that is not what is needed at the moment, and that is the clear message in this card. What is needed at the moment is for you to listen to your inner guidance, for you to take this time as a chance to look inward. This has been the message for several weeks now, and Kutsumi talked about that in my dream also. It is time to look inward and see what treasures you hold inside that you might cultivate now, what talents you have that you might cultivate now, and make use of for the good of the entire collective. So this card is a reminder that it is time for us now to listen to our inner guidance. It's also a time where we really need to seek that peace inside of us. We need to get in touch with faith somehow. So it's time to silence our minds, and even though it's hard when the entire family is home, and it has definitely been a challenge for me also this week, we do need to seek some solitude in the midst of all this crazy. And I am repeating myself, I know, but you really do need to switch off the TV. Of course we need to stay informed, and we here in New York, we live in one of the hot zones at the moment. And of course we need to know what is going on with our city and what the politicians are thinking about doing. But we cannot let ourselves be drawn into that drama all the time. We do need to switch off the TV, find something you can laugh at, find something you really love to do, just for you, just for yourself, and set aside some time to do that. It is possible. Maybe stay up a little later like I'm doing today. But this card underlines that same message that Kutsumi had in my dream, that we should not panic. We should try and come together as a community. And for you personally, it is time to look inside. It is time to find those gifts that you have, spiritual gifts, nurturing gifts, and share, help people cope with this period that we are in. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, this card is called the Hierophant, but you can see that it is the same message. He is sitting between these two pillars that represents practical and spiritual knowledge. And he serves as the bridge between the two. So again, telling us that it is time to bridge that divide and look inside and see how we can make practical use of our spiritual gifts. So the crystal I have been guided to work with this week is rose quartz again. So the stone of love. This is a crystal that promotes compassion. It can also make you open, helpful, and caring towards other people. And because of that, it can help us live together in harmony. And I think we need that more now than ever. Even though we love our families, it is stressful when we are all suddenly forced to be in the same place together for the foreseeable future at least. So this stone can help you find the love and find the compassion to live together in harmony. My guides told me that this week I should be working with the rose quartz in combination with amber. So this is one of my favorite amber pieces. I have quite a few, but this one you can see it has these leaves stuck inside. Of course, amber is not a crystal, but fossilized resin, but it has a lot of spiritual qualities. Brown amber dissipates anger and aggression and dissatisfaction. It can also get rid of feelings of jealousy. It can also reduce selfishness and help you use your energy in a meaningful way. So in this period that we are in, this particular combination of amber and rose quartz can help you with all of these conflicting emotions that you might be dealing with. This is a stone often used in jewelry, so if you have amber jewelry, wear it this week, and see if you can work with these two stones in combination. That can help you. So I am going to use one of my shamanic decks today for the reading. This is a deck called Native Spirit by Denise Linn. See what 3 perspectives come up today. So first one. Second one jumped out of the deck. And so did the third one. Okay. Walking in beauty is a concept from Native American traditions. There is a name for it in Navajo that I will not try to pronounce here. I'm going to butcher that beautiful language. But walking in beauty means being in balance with a natural way of life. So when we are in the right relationship with the natural world around us, we are walking in beauty. So the more you sense and see beauty around you, in your environment, yourself and your body, the more it will fill your life in all forms. So this card basically tells us that there's beauty everywhere. There's beauty everywhere around you, and there's beauty inside you. So it comes up this week because this is definitely not how we feel at the moment. Many people are in the grip of fear and are completely overlooking all of the beautiful things that do still exist in their lives. And when things like this particular crisis that we're in at the moment, when these types of things happen, I firmly believe that it is also to remind us to open up our eyes and see the things that are already there in our lives. We all as human beings have this tendency to strive. When we finish one project, we want to strive for the next. We want to move on and climb the ladder and work our way up, and we have all of these things that we want to achieve. But when we do that, we lose sight of what is already there in our lives, and we lose sight of the moment. So this card reminds you to live in the moment and see beauty everywhere. It is also about the beauty inside you, so we have the same message here again. It is time for you to look inside and find these spiritual gifts that you have, gifts that you can share, because they are beautiful, and it is beauty that the world needs at the moment. And it is actually quite telling that our second perspective this week is the wounded healer, because here we have a similar message. This card tells you that you have the power to heal inside you. You have the power to heal yourself, and you have the power to heal others. This healing energy flows through you freely. The wounded healer is also tradition in native cultures that asserts that some of the greatest healers are those who have gone through hardship and survived. So they have basically been wounded and healed themselves, and that's why they have very powerful healing energy. So these individuals can provide great solace to the community. So you may have been wounded in your life, or you may have gone through challenging times, but you are still a healer in the most profound sense of the word. So basically, your strength lies in the difficulties that you have overcome. So again, this is the High Priest telling us, use those powers, use those gifts that you have inside you, and use them to share your love with others. It is very important at the moment that we find this energy within us, so that we not only help ourselves through this period we're in, but so that we also help the ones closest to us and the collective as a whole. Our last perspective this week is the Sacred Mountain, and this is exactly what I talked about before. this card tells you that it is time to be still and take the time to move into the silent place within you. You have to locate your internal source of power. So basically it is a time to meditate and find some silence within you. So it is not a week for taking action, for painting your rooms or repairing the garage or coming up with all of these other practical chores for yourself. It is a week for the opposite. You have to get your work done. If you're working from home, you know that there are deadlines, things that you have to do, but do not invent all sorts of extra chores just because you're working from home. Use the rest of your time to be still, to listen to your inner voice, to meditate and to practice self-love. Turn off the TV, turn off the noise, and don't worry. Worry is fear energy, and we have to avoid that at all costs. So yeah, I'm not surprised that all of these 3 cards jumped out at me, because it is the exact same message that Kuthumi had in my dream. And Kuthumi is always with me when I shuffle these decks. He always makes sure that I pull the right ones. It's the same message that the High Priest has for us also. I will pull an additional card today from this Higher Intuition deck that I introduced last week. Just because I really love these animal images, and I would love to see what animal comes up for us today. And the card that we have for this week is the Seahorse. Let me hold it up. So the Seahorse Spirit. And the Seahorse Spirit teaches us about working together, about collaboration, that there is strength in being many. That is how you can avoid the predators out in the ocean. You see them swimming around all together. So this is a card that speaks about the community, talks about working together, being there for each other, and so on. The Seahorse also tells us that it is a time to cherish our relationships, to be kind to each other, and to show extra love to the people that we have in our life. With regards to the Seahorse, it's also important to remember that with seahorses, it is the male who carries the babies. So this could also be a shout out to the men out there, that you might need to do a little bit more around the house and help a little bit more with the children than you might usually do, so that it is time for you to take on some of these nurturing chores with the children also. I have said before that many children are afraid at this time, so maybe it's time for the dads to be more visible in the family and for the dads to help out a bit more. The Seahorse Spirit reminds us of our relationships, reminds us of our friends, and that it's time to see each other. You can see here in the card how they are facing each other, looking each other in the eye. So it's time to see one another and be there for each other again. So that message is very clear this week. Finally, I have to tell you about the herb that we see depicted in the High Priest card, and that is sage again. I have mentioned that before, so you can see my sage wand here on my table also. This is one that I have already lit. And sage is a wonderful herb that can clear away all evil. It can also clear away all negative thoughts that you have. You can be as refreshed from bathing in sage smoke as you can be from taking a long bath. So burn some sage this week and see if that can help you. So yeah, even though I had to whisper a little today, this was the reading, and I hope you enjoyed it. It will probably be whispered readings for the foreseeable future, because I do need a little solitude to complete these readings. If you can hear noise in the background, it is our new kitten scratching away at one of her toys. We took advantage of this isolation period to adopt a new little cat, and she's waking up now and being a bit playful. But anyway, if you would like a private reading with me, you can write the email you see in the video description, or you can visit my Etsy shop. I wish you a wonderful week, despite everything we're going through as a collective, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye!